Hi, and welcome to Rise with Video. I'm your host, Robyn Unwin. Today I'm sitting down with my friend Georgee Low, who is a business strategist and coach who I've had the joy of working with on quite a few projects over the last few years. I love this about Georgie's why. It's to inspire others to take action to create the life they really want. And she truly walks the talk. Georgee creates adventure experience trips for high-performing leaders all over the world. And I was really looking forward to shooting the video for an adventure tour to Nepal last year that unfortunately she had to postpone due to the pandemic. But really one of the things I love most about Georgee is her curiosity. If she wants to know something or share something with her clients, she'll just seek people out and connect with them. So she has met some fascinating leaders in her travels, and she really does stretch herself to be more visible. So that's what we're going to dig into today on this episode of Rise with Video. So you saw the photos of Georgee on her adventure trips, and just the way that Georgee rolls is there's this unfettered, let's just make this happen kind of energy and attitude. And so even this trip to Nepal, where we were supposed to go and do an adventure trip, and even right up until the 11th hour, Georgee was like, we'll just see what's going to happen. And that really does remind me of your take on visibility as well, Georgee. It's just a roll with it kind of attitude. So let's dig into your 5 hot tips, because we do dig into that one a little bit down the road. But the first one that you talk about is being consistent. So in terms of consistency and visibility, how has that played out in your life?
For me, with the consistency is really important, because I find if I'm too sporadic, it doesn't happen. You know, it's too easy to think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do video or social media posts or whatever that might look like. And if I don't actually schedule it, plan it, and stick to it, it feels like it's like, oh, it hasn't been that long. And then, oh, it's been 6 months. It's been a year. It's like, oh my gosh, what has just happened? So that ability to really be consistent makes such a difference. And I really noticed it. And we talked about this too with COVID coming, and Patty, my business partner, we do a show every week. And when we started, we did it every day. But that literally that weekly thing, it makes such a difference to actually doing it.
I know when you started doing it with a daily thing, I remember how much you were growing by that day. You know, I appreciated that you backed off, because that must have been a pretty intense schedule of going live every single day. But what was that like in terms of, waking up every day and just knowing that you are on?
Fortunately, Patty and I work very much the same way. So quite often we weren't really, we kind of knew what we were going to talk about, but quite often we'd be making slides morning of, and just doing it. But it was that consistency with showing up, and it got easier and easier and easier. In the beginning, like the first week it was hard. It's like, oh my God, like the button goes live and you're there. So it's like, okay, I guess we're doing this, and we'll see what happens. we'll just go with it. But for sure, a lot of growth happened. And I think because we did so many and a lot in the beginning, I think Wednesday will be episode 95 or 96, something like that.
Wow.
And if someone had said we were going to do that many, I'd be like, yeah, right. That's like so many. And here we are, consistency.
And I think about how many, we've seen a few tech failures already. We haven't even started, but I can only imagine in 95 episodes, how many challenges you must have hit. Tech, interview questions, probably every single thing. How has that helped your skill as a presenter online?
I think it helps you to just be okay when it doesn't go okay. And you learn to think on your feet a little bit faster. You learn to be more adaptable. You learn to be flexible. You learn some workarounds. You learn, if you don't go live on Facebook and it only works on Zoom, oh, well, we can make a video and we can post the video. Like you learn workarounds, and it doesn't kill you. Life doesn't end. People don't drop off. It's fine.
Yeah, nobody, that's what I have to keep reminding myself when mistakes happen. Nobody died except my ego.
Well, and I think it gives people permission to also just do it, that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay.
Which is a lovely segue into your second one, which is hack your own systems. And so explain what you mean by that. I love this one because that's kind of an example of it, doing it every day.
Exactly. And Patty and I, both of us, we thought about doing videos. We'll do videos. We tried to record videos and we never did it. So, what we knew, if we said we would go live and as soon as we hit the live button, we would do it. So for us, our biggest hack is live. We do it live. And we know we need an audience. So we get some people that we know are going to show up. Unfortunately, we have, a really some loyal followers that show up that make it much easier for us to do that. But just sitting down to record, we couldn't do it. So we're like, okay, how do we do this? What's going to work for us? Live. Well, we'll tell people we're going to do it and we'll do it live. And that's probably been our biggest hack for us because we know ourselves and we'll be ready. We will have some kind of thought. We will have some kind of slides. We'll have some presentation ready where without that, we're just lazy. Like we just don't do it. Like,
can you think of any other examples of hacking your own system on that? I love that idea. And I've actually, ever since you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, I've been thinking about that in every area, not only business, but that really did transform something for me. So maybe one more example.
Well, I think because if I know me and like, how do I work? And often I thought I should have my topics really prepared. I should be ready a week in advance. My system doesn't work that way. So it's learning how do I work in the world while still delivering something that's valuable and of quality, not crap, obviously. So it was being okay with my own personality too, because sometimes that's not always easy. We kind of think this is how you're supposed to do something, but if you know your system, you make it work. And I find there's less stress in it. It's just, oh, okay. I know for me that it's going to seem last minute, but really I have an idea. I have a thought. I'm thinking about it probably for a week. Like the idea is percolating. It's going to happen. And true enough, it may be the night before or the morning of, but I know if I have 2 hours, I can put together a slide deck. I can get that thought succinct and together and ready. But that's how I work me.
What I thought was really cool about that is inherent in that is really knowing ourselves at a deep level and embracing who we are and how we work. And I know that for so many years I tried to make myself the type of person who liked to meditate, whatever the thing is, or, I wanted to be an earlier riser, but, I just wasn't. So I love what you were saying about, just really embracing who we are and how we work, and then leveraging that, leveraging the good parts of that and mitigating the not so great parts of it. But I love that as, a lifestyle or business hack. That's awesome. The next one you talked about, it's similar, but a little bit different is the importance of your inner game. How does that relate to video and visibility and, rising with video, your inner game?
Oh man, when I think about video and visibility, right? Like you get that knot in your stomach and it's like, oh my gosh, people are going to see me. My face is going to be on a video and people are going to be watching it. And so for me, it's easy to start to really, be super judgmental. I know I'm super animated. I know I bobble my head a lot. Like all of these things that I do that people have said, hey, you might want to, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. And so when those things start coming up, it's really paying attention for me. Okay, what am I saying to myself? Is all I'm focusing on are these judgments and these criticism and things like that? Because if I do that, I'm never going to move forward. So it's really recognizing the triggers of when I start to spiral down that path and then going, okay, stop. I hear you. And what can I change that narrative to? Because I think especially as women, there's a lot of pressure on body image, what we look like. Am I too old? I should be younger. I should be this. I should be that. the camera angle is wrong. I don't have it right. Oh my gosh, I got so excited there. I now have 8 chins in that shot. Like, all literally all of these things. And, it's like I saw this model who was showing kind of how she does things. And then just if the camera's not right, sometimes it's not that flattering. And I think with video, especially live video, it's like, oh man, what if Zoom freezes? Then I'm stuck with that crazy Zoom face and guaranteed it's not going to be probably the most flattering. And so it's all of those things. And really, I think just being aware of what is the conversation I'm having in my head, and is this serving me, and is it serving the people that I'm actually really talking to? But it's hard. I think sometimes I've done a lot of personal development work, and even that makes it hard on me, where I'm like, I shouldn't be like that. I should know this. And the reality is some days it's just hard. And this goes back to that hacking the system too. I know if I'm going live, I'm showing up. I know it. It's happening.
I remember when video was really, really precious, when people wouldn't go on video unless, they were completely coiffed, and they wouldn't even flick the lights on for less than $1,000. And I think that one of the things that's really cool about video now, the more cavalier approach to it, and people's faces always getting stuck in the funny Zoom face, and the thumbnails having weird facial expressions, I think is helpful to people's body image. But you're so right, Georgie, that one of the things that kicks in lots of times when people see that little record button, especially for those of us who have grown up in that era when recording really it was, written in stone for posterity, whereas content is a little bit different now. But getting past that, I'm about to be recorded for the rest of my life feeling can become a little bit intimidating. So I love it that you addressed that you do have to get over that. We talked about this in the interview, but one thing I will leave people with is the idea that the more we do this, and it's going back to your first one, Georgie, actually your first and second point, being consistent and hacking your system, but is just keeping on doing it. Practice, practice, practice. And at a certain point, I noticed my inner conversations start to shift from, oh God, look at my hair. Oh my, I was doing that wrong, to, oh, if I did this way next time, it would be more effective. So it was rather than the trash talking inner voice, it was more the constructive, how can I be better at this next time? So, I think once we keep on going and push through these things, we can become our own inner coach rather than our own inner critic. The next one, I love this one because I just love these words, and I've been saying them in my brain ever since our first interview, but embrace the suck. So not everything, we've talked about this a little bit already, alluded to it, but not everything is going to go as planned. Not everything is going to be perfect. So what do you mean by embrace the suck?
And most times it's not, especially when we're just getting started. Like, it's mostly gonna suck. It's going to be bad. It's going to be imperfect. And I think just being able to embrace that and recognize that I will get better, but the only way I'm going to get better is if I start and I keep going, but recognizing that there's a lot of it that's going to be imperfect. There's days that it's going to be hard. There's days that voice is going to run. And I think when we sort of embrace that and we're prepared for the obstacles that can show up, it's easier to overcome them when they do, because we kind of set ourselves up for it. Like, it's just, and it's not this thing of going and being like, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing. It's going to suck so terribly. It's not really that, but it's just that awareness that it could be hard. And I was like, well, will I die? Will I die? If I won't die, I'm okay. But it's just knowing that it's okay that if it's not perfect, and I can use it and I can get better, but just full on giving the suck a hug,
That's another one. Oh, I love that one. Because I actually have been saying the words embrace the suck, and it makes me laugh.
Well, I think that also opens up your mind for possibilities for solution when you can have that little bit of space, and it does make you laugh. Like, it's kind of funny.
It's also similar to, I like the saying of don't let the great be the enemy of the good or something like that. So like any creative idea, when we think of something, we think, oh, this is going to be amazing. And it's going to be like 100% amazing. And as we proceed, chances are it becomes more like 90% amazing. And I've actually settled, especially because, a lot of projects I work with in collaboration with other people, and I don't have control over how other people work, and their vision might be slightly different than mine. And so I've realized that I'm going to have 80% of my happiness around a project be my bar from now on. So if I'm 80% happy with it, then it's 100% amazing out in the world. And it just helps me get past that a little bit. It's I guess my strategy for embracing the suck.
Your hack.
That's awesome.
Your system hack.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. My system hack. Is there anything else you want to say on embrace the suck, Georgee?
Well, I think the other thing about it too is, we get so worked up and we think I think I'm going to make this video and like hundreds of people are going to watch it, and they don't. I'm lucky if it's more than my mom.
Let's become a little less precious about all of our perfect and good and greatness, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Well, and to that end, I love how you've been giving segues to all of your 5 points. But the last one that you had is reminding yourself who you're speaking to. And yeah, that actually has 2 prongs in the way that you just brought it up, because when you remind yourself who you're speaking to, and it's a large audience, and reminding yourself sometimes it's not as large an audience. But what did you mean by that particular point?
Yeah, I think often it's easy for me when I'm starting to do videos, I'm actually thinking about the person that's going to judge me, or the person that's going to reject me and criticize me, instead of going back to, and my partner Patty says this all the time, it's just who are you actually talking to? And it's the person who wants to hear my message, the person who's actually interested in it. And so by being able to refocus there makes it so much easier. And I heard an interview with a fellow by the name of Preston Smiles, which I just love his name. And he was talking about how there are people in the world who can only hear your message in the way that you can say it. Like somebody else, you could have 5 people saying the exact same thing, and there are certain people who can absolutely only hear it from you. And so I often think about that too when I'm doing video or putting a message out there. I'm like, even if it's only one person, but that one person may really need to hear this today, and they might only be able to hear it from me. So it goes back to, if I let that inner voice stop me, or that fear of what people think, or my bad hair, double chin, or rolls on my stomach, or whatever it is, stop me, that's kind of a sad day for me. Because it's like, I really believe that life is very short, and we are not guaranteed anything, really past this moment. So what can I do to make the world a better place for other people? And that just really, really helps. And by focusing in on, today I'm talking to that person. I'm talking to that one person who really wants to hear what I have to say. And it makes it so much easier.
And I know that your big why, you've done a lot of work around this, and purpose and living a life of purpose is very integral to your work. And so it really circles nicely, and it's perfect intro, I think, into our Q&A part. It really is a bigger why that's got to drive us, or else the things like the bad hair or the whatever it is will get in the way. At some point that will stop us, unless we have a why that's bigger than ourselves or the challenges. Every business will have a challenge, and I truly believe that our challenges are custom designed to help us grow. Is pause for thought whenever you have one that, particularly one that you feel completely victimized by. It's like, okay, where's the lesson here? But Georgee, let's talk a little bit about Decide Your Life, the name of your business, and that larger purpose and that why. Maybe just to summarize how that why has really been the thing that pulls you through business challenges or visibility challenges.
Yeah, you know what? It's for me, it's everything. So my larger why is to inspire people to take action to create the life that they really, 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 really want. Because I believe that when we are fulfilled in our own life, that creates such a ripple effect for other people, all the people around us. Like it really helps to change the world. I think when we're in that space, it also provides an opportunity for more compassion, more empathy, more kindness, to create space where people really feel like they matter, you know, where they're seen, they're heard, they're understood. So for me, everything gets filtered through that. So any opportunity I get, like if someone says, hey, will you be on this podcast, or do you want to do this thing together? Literally the first question I ask myself is, will this give me the opportunity to inspire someone to create the life they really, really want? And so it's either yes or no. So that's number one. And then I literally run it through my values. Will this give me an opportunity to create a space where people feel like they matter? Yes or no. Will this create possibilities and freedom of choice? Yes or no. Will it be fun? Like, will I be able to, you know, grow and create some memories? Those, like, I run everything through that.
You call that your values?
Those are my values. So I believe that if we take our values, like, and most people have done values work, like, so for me, my value of love, how I do love, like I turn them all into verbs, which would be for me creating a space where people feel like they matter. It just runs automatically now. So yeah, that would be another tip. Like, if take your values and turn them into verbs. How do you know? How do you know yes or no? Because then when I get to the end of the day, I can literally run that list and be like, did I do that?
It's almost like a litmus test for, am I doing things that really speak to me? You know, it's like going back to your second one about hacking your own system, really
Totally.
knowing. Especially, you know, I remember pre-COVID, just running from here to there to everywhere. You know, I think FOMO was running my life more than I was, not wanting to miss out on anything. And now really having a year to sink in and really make choices based on what really matters to me most. So I love that you've put a system around it, a values system.
Yeah. And that was Decide Your Life. That's where it came from, right? I get to decide how I want to show up in the world. What kind of human do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to live? It's not from that space of I can do anything I want, but it's really, what kind of human do I want to be today?
And what a great way to finish. Thanks for joining us here on the Rise with Video Vodcast. And you can reach Georgee at decideyourlife.com. You can also learn more about the inner and the outer game of video. Just subscribe to our newsletter at robynunwin.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram at Rise with Video. Get ready to shine online and rise with video. And we'll see you next time.